enemies of freedom are fear and greed. So you make sure that they don't stand in your way. If you imagine the worst thing that can happen to you and then make yourself be comfortable with it, there's nothing more left to be afraid of.
Durov's story begins in Soviet-era Leningrad, where he was born in 1984, but quickly spans continents and contrasting ideologies. At age 4, his family moved from the Soviet Union to Italy, giving young Pavel an early glimpse of life in a freer, wealthier society. His father was a prominent scholar, an expert in classical philology, and his older brother Nikolai was a math prodigy who once solved complex equations on Italian TV as a 10-year-old. This academically rich environment and international experience shaped Pavel's outlook. In Italy, he went from speaking no Italian to being the top student in his class within 2 years, an early sign of his intense focus and adaptability. When the Soviet Union collapsed, the Durov family returned to the new Russia. Pavel attended an experimental school in St. Petersburg, mastering 6 foreign languages alongside an advanced curriculum in math and science. By the early 1990s, the brothers had an IBM PC, a rarity in Russia then, which they used to teach themselves programming. Pavel became fascinated with computers and coding, building his first websites while still a student. In 2006, at just 21 and freshly graduated from university, Pavel Durov launched a social networking site called vKontakte, VK, often dubbed Russia's Facebook. He and Nikolai created VK to connect Russian-speaking students and graduates online. Pavel poured his life into the startup. In the first year, he was essentially VK's only employee, acting as lead developer, web designer, server admin, and even customer support, all by himself. He barely slept during those early days, writing code late into the night, but the hard work paid off. vKontakte quickly became the most popular social network across Russia and neighboring countries like Ukraine, Belarus and Kazakhstan, hitting 100 million users by 2012. This whirlwind success made Pavel Durov a young tech star in Russia, but it also set the stage for a dramatic clash with his homeland's authorities. Leaving Russia in 2014, Durov didn't stay idle for long. In fact, the seeds of his next venture, Telegram, had been planted during the height of the VK conflict. In December 2011, when authorities tried to raid his apartment for refusing the initial censorship demands, Durov realized he had no secure way to communicate. He wanted to warn his brother and colleagues about what was happening, but every available messaging tool, SMS, email, other apps, was potentially tapped or insecure. There's no way to communicate securely, he thought at the time, and he vowed that if he got out of that predicament, he would build one. That vision became Telegram. In 2013, Pavel and his brother Nikolai launched Telegram Messenger, focusing on private, encrypted communication. Nikolai, with his 2 PhDs in mathematics and genius-level coding skills, developed Telegram's custom encryption protocol, known as MT-Proto. Pavel concentrated on the user experience, creating a simple, fast app with features that would eventually surpass those of its competitors. Telegram started as a small app for secure messaging, but it grew exponentially, especially after Durov's departure from VK made headlines. Over the next decade, Telegram's user base swelled to around 1 billion users globally as of 2025, making it one of the world's top messaging platforms. Telegram's success under Durov is remarkable not just for its scale, but for how it was built. In an era when tech companies often boast thousands of employees, Telegram operates with a tiny core team, and Durov likes it that way. In fact, the core engineering and development team is about 40 people in total, even though the app serves over 700 million monthly users, and counting. This almost unbelievable ratio is a deliberate choice. Durov's philosophy is that quality beats quantity in teams. Adding more people can often make a project slower and less efficient. The quantity of employees doesn't translate to the quality of the product. In many cases, it's the opposite, he explains. With too many bodies, you get endless coordination, communication overhead, and even employees who end up creating work or bureaucracy to stay busy. By keeping Telegram's staff small and elite, Durov ensures everyone is doing meaningful work. To handle a global platform with such a lean crew, automation is key. Telegram has on the order of 100,000 servers distributed across multiple continents to handle its traffic. Rather than hire an army of IT administrators to manage these, Durov's team invests in software to orchestrate and monitor everything. The engineers are forced to write smart scripts and systems instead of throwing humans at every problem. The result is not only efficiency, but reliability and security. Humans are attack vectors, Durov says. Every extra person with access is a potential weak link. Automated systems, by contrast, don't divulge secrets or make erratic judgments. Thanks to this approach, Telegram can quickly reroute around failures. If one data center goes down, others pick up the slack, and scale seamlessly to millions of new users without a proportional increase in staff. Durov applies the same rigor in hiring those few team members. Forget conventional resumes and HR funnels. Competitions are his preferred recruitment tool. Telegram regularly holds coding contests open to all, where developers tackle programming challenges, often related to actual Telegram features or problems. Competition leads to progress, Durov says, describing why he uses this method. It's the ideal way to objectively find the most skilled people for a task. Anyone can participate, whether they want a job or just prize money, and Telegram hires those who emerge as the best, sometimes after multiple rounds, to really prove consistent excellence. This approach has brought in some of Telegram's top engineers and designers. Many of them were passionate Telegram users long before they became employees, which Durov considers a huge plus. They deeply understand and care about the product. By the time they join, they've effectively auditioned through contests and shown they can deliver. It also means new hires often have no prior big tech baggage,